Hey guys, welcome back to my channel Rewind That. It's your girl Miss K. If this is your first time coming across my channel, welcome. Please be sure to subscribe if you like the vibe and hit that notification bell so you know when I upload more videos like this one. Alright guys, today we are doing something a little different. This is a theory about ghosts being alive, okay? So normally I wouldn't touch this. I know that a lot of people have, and it is pretty much like a frenzy out there when it comes to this, right? Everybody wants to know if Ghost is still alive. And for me personally, guys, I just didn't want to dig into it because I'm just going with the flow for right now, right? But I have a fan theory. A fan of the show sent me an email, and the email breaks down why he thinks Ghost may still be alive. And I really enjoyed his point, and so I want to share it. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to be reading the email to you guys, and then in between it, I will be sharing my own thoughts, sprinkling my little thoughts here and there. And we're going to also talk about the letter. So obviously, what happened on the mid-season finale where Tariq received a letter from Ghost, it's starting to spark the question right back up, okay? I mean, it's not like it ever really died down in the first place, right? But now people are really stirred up. They're fired up even more now, and they want to know, is Ghost still alive? All right. But my question really is Ghost still alive, or is he simply just a ghost haunting Tariq? All right. So I'm going to start reading this email to you. Here we go. First, I'd like to say I believe Ghost is dead, at least for now. They just didn't make it official. So just in case things get bad, they have an ace card they can still throw out there. I have a couple of reasons why I believe he can still be alive. One, Ghost is Power Universe's main character. Even in book 2 to 4, it's still all about Ghost. Book number 2, Tariq now has to go to college because of Ghost. His mom is gone due to Ghost being shot. Tariq's grandmother is going through a rough time because of the aftermath of Ghost not being around. Even Simon Stern is still around because he wants Ghost's club. Book 3. Let's find out the backstory of the man who created the Tommy and Ghost characters we know today. Book 4. Tommy now has to learn how to run a successful drug business alone now that Ghost is not around. Then he also goes into adding his thoughts on book 5. So here we go with that, right? It says Tate's plans to become governor were ruined due to Ghost running as well and getting the lieutenant governor's spot. Now we'll follow his attempt to rise back to the top. So he makes a great point here where Ghost is kind of like the center of the Power universe. Like every book can basically stem back to Ghost. Okay, so anyway, now it goes on to say, so if Ghost is your main character that's so important, you can build a whole universe around him, and you have a habit of posting RIP pictures to everyone who dies in book 1. Why did your main character not get an RIP post? He's too important of a character for it to be missed or forgotten about. Let's say it somehow was. What do we have as proof of his death? The last time we see images of James St. Patrick are of him dying. No dead body, closed casket. Then he goes on to say, this leads me to my second reason. Number 2, ever since book 1, Kemp has been doing IG live Q&A sessions from time to time. Sometimes she lies, but usually when she does, it's a quick answer with no thought behind it. I pay attention to when she takes a minute to answer and thinks before she talks, especially if she ends her answer with hint, 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 hint. An example is when someone asks if Ghost has a secret sister. She paused and said, not a sister, not a sister. Hint, 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 hint. We're yet to see it, but it's close. The one I want to focus on is a live she did not long after book 1. Someone asked, is Ghost really dead? She paused and then said, as far as everyone who knows him knows, he's dead. She stopped to think of another way to say it, but couldn't, and said the same thing again. There's no evidence shown to the viewer, but literally as far as everyone knows him knows, he's dead. James was shot in the midsection. Why did he have a closed casket? Who in the Power universe that had a funeral had a closed casket funeral? And even if Ghost's funeral was not a closed casket, why did the showrunners make it a closed casket for us? So I'm going to stop right there and I'm going to insert my own thoughts when it comes to this because these are all great points, especially the whole RIP post thing. I have heard about these posts before. There's always an RIP post when a character dies. And for James St. Patrick not to get one like the show's main character, that is kind of odd. You know what I'm saying? So that does make people question. And this is the reason why the theory continues to go on. And I'd also like to add that it could be Courtney Kemp's way of continuing to keep the frenzy going. You know what I'm saying? Like, she may never bring Ghost back, but the fact that it keeps people watching and coming back for more just in case he shows up, she's going to keep it going. You know what I mean? Because in reality, why would she stop it, right? It's her moneymaker at the end of the day. So if people want to theorize that Ghost is still alive, go on ahead and do so, okay? So before I get into my own thoughts about this whole theory, I'm going to go ahead and address the closed casket issue. Now, we did see that Raina had a closed casket, all right? And besides that, we know that Ghost had one as well. And Courtney Kemp did mention that the whole closed casket thing is because she doesn't ever want to show a character with an open casket. It has something to do with some type of trauma that she experienced when her father passed away. So when it comes to funerals on the Power universe, especially if Courtney is behind it, we're most likely not going to get an open casket. The closest thing that we did come to one was when they dug up Angela's body to get that cell phone, okay? Now, that's what I have to say about that. So now let's move on. So the letter goes on to say, I'm done, but something came to mind while writing this. This has already been covered by other YouTubers, but I remember in season 6 that scene when Ghost woke Tariq up with a gun to his face. He said something that stayed with me. I'm paraphrasing, but he said, don't you ever think you're smarter than me, son. Don't ever make that mistake again. If the end of book 1 actually happened and Ghost was outsmarted by Tariq just hiding a gun in the club and coming back before closing, that's a pretty weak and basic move to get beat with, especially for a guy who's said to be so smart, a thinker, and always steps ahead of everyone. If this is really the case, the end of the James St. Patrick character was just a victim of poor writing. But I don't think they're that bad, especially towards their main character. He probably faked his death and is living with Ramona, who disappeared as well. So that was also a little joke that he added. So this is the end of the letter, guys, and I definitely really appreciate this. Now, I also have a special clip that I want to share, a video that I did with my sons where they kind of went off topic and they started to talk about the possibility that Ghost might be alive due to this letter that he wrote to Tariq in the event of being arrested for homicide, okay? So the fact that he wrote this letter and said what he said in the letter, like, I knew you'd end up here, little N-word, right where you belong. I've always said that it doesn't sound like Ghost to me, right? And this doesn't mean, so let me just clear this up real quick. It doesn't mean that I think that Ghost didn't write it. It just means for me that it sounds out of character. All right. And you will hear me explain more about this in the clip that I'm going to share with you guys in a moment. But before I go there, I want to get back to this fan theory. And something that he said was that he thinks that Ghost probably faked his death, right? And so this goes back to when Courtney Kemp answered the question if Ghost is really dead. She says, as far as everyone who knows him knows, he's dead. That sounds like a situation where someone fakes their death, right? So, like, as far as all the characters in the Power universe know, or the characters that we know, the people that know him, like his ex-wife and his children and his, his immediate family and Tommy and all that stuff, as far as they know, he's dead, right? So that does sound like someone who has faked their death and they've moved on, and maybe he's waiting for that opportune time to appear again. I mean, that would be great. You know what I'm saying, guys? But I honestly don't think so. And let me share this clip with you guys before I give you my final thoughts on the matter.
I just think that it was something that he wrote like just in case.
Nah, but
I'm
why?
gone.
But why would you write that? If you say as a father, you always want your relationship with your son to be, as good as it can get.
Mm-hmm.
So if you don't know whenever you're gonna go, but when you die, you want to make sure you have that type of letter to your son.
Right. That's why I don't.
Like
Yeah.
that's like you don't know.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of a little weird to me, don't you
Yeah,
think?
it's weird.
So he's I don't. It leaves more suspense, and for it to go, for that to be the mid-season finale, is like a mic drop. But yeah. So it's like I don't know. It makes you question a lot because I've seen a lot of people with theories saying that he's still alive or he found a bullet before he found a gun and switched up the bullets and this and that. I see many theories
to where they weren't gonna be fatal, right? Fatal shots or whatever. Yeah, a lot of theories, and I don't think that Ghost would let that be the final letter to his son.
Yeah, as a father. That's
yeah, I don't see it. I don't see it. Some people speculate that it was written that way because Courtney Kemp has an issue, allegedly, guys. I don't know that her and Mari Hardwick don't get along. That's allegedly. I don't know how true that is. I'm not saying that as if I know. I don't know. But if you're writing the guy in this way and you're trying to keep his character to sound like a butthole, then that does sound like you have animosity because I don't see Ghost doing that. I mean, and if he wanted to do that, he could have let Tommy kill Tariq. I mean, I don't know.
So as you guys can see from that clip, Ghost writing a letter to his son, basically the context of the letter seems to be out of character for me. All right. So yes, I do see him writing a letter in the event that Tariq was arrested for homicide. I do see that. But the context of the letter to actually say, I knew you would end up here one day, little N-word, right where you belong. I just don't see that being one of the last things that Ghost would want to say to his son, especially after setting up a trust fund and making sure that the only way Tariq could touch it is by accomplishing a certain GPA, right? And in finishing college as well, right? To me, that sounds more like Ghost. And let me also say this, right? There's supposed to be proof going around that Ghost actually did speak like that to Tariq, okay? Especially that moment when he woke Tariq up with that gun in his face, right? We saw how he was talking to him, all right? But all of these things were warranted and they made a whole bunch of sense. Because when Ghost woke Tariq up with that gun in his face, he was angry. You know what I'm saying? And some people even argue that maybe when he wrote the letter he was drunk because we know that Ghost was drinking a lot during that time as well. But it's like, okay, at some point you also had to sober up, didn't you? So when you sober up and you get all your affairs in order and you see that you wrote this terrible letter to your child, don't you fix it at some point? You know what I'm saying? So my point is it was out of character for Ghost in my opinion. And I just think that it's all because Courtney Kemp wants to continue to push this narrative of Ghost that he was this really bad guy. And there's no love loss or disrespect when I say that, but that's just my opinion. That's what I think is happening here. All right. And Ghost, anytime he got up in Tariq's face or anytime he looked like he was about to put hands on him, I was always for it because Tariq was doing a lot and he was being very disrespectful. So when Courtney Kemp used to say things like, I don't understand why people hate Tariq, that's why. You know, the kid was out of control and he was disrespectful. All right. So as I was saying, it has been alleged that Courtney Kemp and Amari Hardwick might not be on the best terms. And the way the series ended, Power Book 1, it could almost be believed that way, right? That there was some animosity or something because she tried so hard to make us hate him, right? Everyone was against him and all this stuff. And it was just a lot of stuff that didn't really mesh well for me, in my opinion. And I think what she was trying to do was make it justifiable for Tariq to kill his father. And for some people it worked, and for I think most people it didn't. That's what I'm going to say. because a lot of people were just really upset and a lot of people hated Tariq, and she couldn't really understand it. Like, and it was like, it's because this is your own personal, like, opinion or perspective or your own personal desire that you're trying to fulfill, and so that's my take on this whole situation. And please keep in mind that I say all these things with no malicious intent toward Courtney Kemp. I think she's great. I think she's doing a wonderful job. She's an inspiration to me, and I respect her talent. So I'm not saying any of these things to disrespect her, okay? So in a nutshell, guys, I'm going to say that because of this, I don't think that Ghost is coming back. I do believe that he's dead. At this point, I think that he's just going to be a ghost that's going to always haunt Tariq every now and then. How are they going to find a way to add him into the story again? Who knows? Maybe after Tariq graduates, we'll hear from Ghost again with another letter. We never know. As long as we keep Daniel around, Daniel Warren, who is the guardian of the trust and all that stuff, we never know. We might have a bunch of surprises from Ghost. But I think that's the extent of it. I don't think he's coming back, guys. But I don't think that Courtney Kemp is going to put the fire out. I don't think she's going to say, oh no, he's dead, he's not coming back, guys, because she knows that it's been creating a huge buzz and it's good for her show. And that's my take on it. So let me know what you guys think. Do you guys think that Ghost is still alive after that letter, or is he just a ghost that will continue to haunt Tariq? And shout out to Little Rock 1822 for that lovely fan theory. That was some great points, and I definitely appreciate it. So now it's your turn, guys. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already, and hit that notification bell so you know when I upload more videos like this one. Until next time, you guys take care and be blessed, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.